Hi, my name's Jackie. I am the founder of the Loose Tannins Wine Club. Today we're here at Foxcroft Waverly, and I'm with Adam Arlen, certified sommelier and representative for Mark Orsini Wines. We're really excited to talk to you today a little bit about Adam's experience. I am a student of wine, aren't we all? And aren't we all? And just here to guide a conversation about his experiences studying for some of the certifications, what he learned through that journey, and how he got to where he is now in distribution. So after 15 years in the business,
Yes.
15 years in the business of wine, Adam has worked pretty much every position possible. He's worked in the back of house as a dishwasher. He's worked in front of house.
Yep.
And he has achieved the certified sommelier
Yes.
and studied for the advanced sommelier, which is in and of itself an enormous feat.
It is literally the third hardest exam on the planet.
What's 1 and 2?
One is the Master Sommelier exam.
Heard. Okay.
And 2, I would say, would be the Navy Nuclear exam
Okay.
to get out of nuke school.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a 15-hour exam.
So third on that list is advanced sommelier. That's great perspective. Before we dive into it, I'd like to ask you what we're drinking today.
This is Ya Cuvée 23 Cava Reserva from our good friends at Vinos Libres. Very traditional blends. Girello, Parellada, Macabeo spends 18 months on the lease. This is a great alternative to champagne if you're on a Miller High Life budget, like I am.
Me too.
So, organically grown. This is grower cava. So the owners of the vineyard also make the wine.
Okay. Great.
And you can find this about $20 retail.
Awesome. Cheers.
Salud. I will say this, it's on day 2, so it's lost a little bit of its fizz.
I think it's delicious.
It still doesn't suck.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. I talked a little bit about your background. I'd like to ask some questions specifically about your studies.
Sure.
We've got a lot of people in Loose Tannins who are, I would describe them as serious hobbyists, which means they're really interested in learning more. They are curious about the theory. They might be interested in collecting or have started small collections of their own.
Awesome.
And are considering whether it's WSET or, sommelier, master sommelier path, formalizing their wine education. Many of them are already in tasting groups. My group meets once a week.
Awesome.
And what's interesting is that I think historically, wine has been this sort of like mystical, mysterious thing that people...
It's just fermented grape juice.
It's just fermented grape juice.
That's it. That's all we're talking about.
But there is a lot of, I think, there's almost like a religious zeal that's built up
Yes.
around the people who know a lot about wine. And some people who are sort of peeling back the curtain are young people on social media. I don't know if you're familiar with Koki. I want to say her last name right. Koki's World of Wine. Do you know this young woman? Koki's World of Wine. Koki Panakvar. Koki Panakvar is a 25-year-old from Toronto.
Okay.
She started creating wine content, I think, that day she turned 21. And she was studying for WSET, so she's got diploma. She's pastor certified, and she's currently a Master of Wine candidate.
Nice.
Studying. And so if you go onto her page, you see all her maps and her maps that she does on Canva. She'll take you on tours of wine country, which is how she studies. These are ways she studies.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has a mini fridge filled with handmade samples. And I think that's really what people are fascinated by, is her mini fridge just full of tiny little bottles. So I'm curious to know what your study process looked like, what prompted you to formalize your studies.
So I figured out very early in my fine dining career that if I wanted to make more money as a server, I needed to know a hell of a lot more about wine,
Sure.
more than just red, white, or pink. And that's really what began my journey over 20 years ago, is working in a fine dining restaurant that has a little bit better wine list. That's obviously not all corporate placements,
Mhm.
which is the bane of my existence. So that started at a little steakhouse down the street, which is long gone. And I started working at Sullivan Steakhouse and worked under a really great sommelier there. As a server, I would start humping boxes, and she would start bringing me in to taste with vendors, especially suppliers. And that's where it really took off for me. She eventually left, and I took over her role there and really brought the program to another level. One of my achievements was getting a Best of Award of Excellence from Wine Spectator
That's awesome.
3 years in a row, and did it on $100,000 in inventory.
Okay. Yeah, that's something.
So that's stacking key verticals from key producers in key regions. Now, Wine Spectator looks at your wine list.
Mm,
They don't look at your inventory.
sure.
So some of those verticals were one bottle apiece
Right.
over 5 or 6 years, like Vegas Sicilia Unico, Schaefer Hillside Select, 5-year vertical of Opus, 3-decade apart vertical of Joseph Drouin Clos de Mouche Rouge,
Also.
76 and 06, sold as a set. So doing small things like that, knowing I could reorder if I needed to on some of those older vintages, really allowed me to build out that program. Now, I couldn't sell every bottle myself, so I had to really invest in staff training, and that's when wine sales really took off for us. At that time, I did intro and certified, and just that base knowledge working with the previous Somm. And Gallo used to have the Gallo Wine Academy. That was an online site that they used to train all their sales reps, which was essentially their guide to certified specialist in wine through Society of Wine Educators.
Okay.
I went through that. That was a great theoretical background for quartermaster sommeliers, but it didn't dive into vintages, producers, how to sell it. You can have the best wine list in the world. If you don't make it disappear, it
That's
does your
true.
ownership group no good at all, because all that money is sitting on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
You got to turn it over. I was trying to run about a 3 times turnover in inventory dollars every year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty stellar. If you flip your entire wine inventory 3 times,
Right.
that was no small feat. After I passed certified, I started studying for the advanced exam. I studied for 5 years.
Sure.
I spent over $20,000 in study wine.
So I'll stop you there because I do want to I do want to get into how much money you spent studying, because it's a total education. I think it's very demanding physically.
Yes.
You know you got to stay hydrated. You got to make sure that you are studying at a pace that is sustainable.
Yes.
But I'm curious. So I understand that your studies started. You wanted to improve your sales, and I think that's a good push for a lot of us.
Yes.
I'm curious to know, at what point did you decide I want to take the jump from certified, which is already, I mean, that's already stands out, that already differentiates you. You already had great sales. So why also go and do advanced?
12 years ago, when I thought I would never leave the restaurant business, my professional goal, and looking back, I was extremely lofty, was to have
To be, you have
8
to be.
letters behind my name.
Oh,
Master Sommelier,
sure.
Master of Wine, Master Mixologist, Master Cicero.
Sure.
That is a glutton for punishment.
It's a glutton.
Since I am now out of the day-to-day restaurant operations,
Sure.
and I'm restaurant adjacent,
Yeah.
I'd rather spend that money on business development.
Absolutely.
Let's make new friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. For what it's worth, in the restaurant day to day, I could not do my job without you, your knowledge, and
Yes.
people like you. So
Yes.
I still very much consider you a part of
Yep.
the restaurant operations.
I just don't have to herd cats anymore.
Which sounds great for you. I'm so happy for you. So you decide that you're going to take the advanced sommelier exam.
Yes.
It's the next set of letters behind your name. It's, part of your long-term career goals. Did you have an idea of how much it was going to cost before you made that commitment?
Oh, yes.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Did someone give you a hint? Tell you, turn back now?
A couple people did. One of my good friends, Max Cast, who's a master sommelier, formerly of the Ferentin House. I believe he now works for Bond Estate.
Cool.
As their, I want to say, director of hospitality out there, and also does market visits. He told me that in 1 year, to pass the MS blind tasting exam, he spent $12,000 for wine. Not retail, wholesale.
Oh, yeah.
In 1 year.
As somebody who's currently pursuing wine studies, this makes my heart hurt. I gotta tell you. That's plenty. Okay,
That's
that was 1 year. That was 1 year.
1 year, and that was his. I want to say, don't quote me exactly, but he reset twice for the MS exam.
Reset.
Reset.
What does that mean?
You have 3 years to pick up all 3 sections for the Master Sommelier exam.
Uh-huh.
If you don't pick up all 3 sections within those 3 years, you start over.
And those sections are?
Theory, tasting, and service.
Which of those was most daunting for you?
For me, it was the tasting, just because for the advanced exam, the exact feedback I got was you rushed it. If you had slowed down, taken your time, you would have had enough points to pass.
Sure.
But I finished in 20 minutes instead of 25, and I drank all the wine because I was nervous. And the master sommelier said, "Is there anything you'd like to revisit?" My exact response was, "If you're pouring, I'm tasting." He laughed, I laughed, we had a good time, and that's when I knew I did not pass.
Oh, brutal. Yeah. But you got 3 years to get all that down.
No, that's only for the MS exam.
Oh, okay.
For advanced, you have to pick up all 3 sections in one shot. Or you do it all over.
I think that's like the LSAT.
Yes.
Oh, brutal. Yeah. A lot of this is, it's so much more than knowing what you're talking about, but it's also being able to do it under pressure. It's managing your time.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing it with panache.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very high pressure, high performance field.
It is.
Yeah.
When I did my certified exam, you have to do sparkling wine service.
Okay. Yeah.
At least when I took it. Now, who knows what they're doing. And because my last name begins with A, I was first on the tee sheet at 10:15 in the morning. And talking with the table, it's my wife's birthday with her best friend and her husband. We would like a bottle of Florida Champagne. Can you name the producer? And I blanked.
Oh.
Let me go ask the maitre d', come back. Hey, did you ever figure out the name of the producer? I couldn't find the maitre d'. I'll let you know. As I'm opening the sparkling wine, and when you open sparkling wine, it should sound like women fart, because we know they don't.
No, never.
Ever. And 3 other people in the room lost control of the cork, and I heard pop, 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 and I almost hit the deck because of PTSD.
Oh my gosh.
Loud noises, booms.
Yikes.
And the funny part is the gentleman who did the service part of my service exam, the service part of my certified exam.
Yes.
I ran into him 2 months later, and it was Robert Jones of Casella Pear and Phil.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember you. The answer to your question is Perrier Jouet. He's like, what? Like,
He's like, who are you?
Did you happen to be down in Atlanta around April 8th at the Buckhead Intercontinental? He's like, I was there for an exam. And I said, I was your first service exam. The answer to your question is Perrier Jouet. I will never to this day forget that.
Right. Because that was a traumatic experience.
It was just blanking on that producer and that tete de cuvée because of stress.
Of course.
You're playing pretend.
Yeah.
There's one person at a table of 4. And you're trying to keep everything straight in your head. Who do I pour first? Who do I pour next? Who's the guest of honor?
There's one physical person in an imaginary party of 4.
Yes.
And you're to serve them all.
Yes.
With grace and panache.
In the proper order, according to formal standards. And so, yeah, the exams are stressful. It's everyday life on a restaurant floor.
Which is its own type of stress and
it's chaos.
Exhilaration. Yes.
It's
herding cats
chaos.
Daily.
And the goal of any good restaurant team is to take that chaos and get it down to controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos.
So being a sommelier isn't just popping bottles of wine. You are everybody's extra set of hands.
Sure.
Including the executive chef. Especially if he forgets to butcher a bunch of filet tenderloins going into restaurant.
And you work at a steakhouse. Oh, God.
Everybody jokes about server nightmares.
Yeah.
I'm the only server. I have 16 tables and there's a 30 top waiting to sit down. Imagine a sommelier nightmare. I'm down 3 servers. I have 700 people coming tonight. 2 of my bartenders are missing. I haven't heard from them. The executive chef still has not butchered anything. I have 1 dishwasher and my GM's on vacation.
Yeah, that's just a pile of tears.
Yay.
And I think I just like to add a little color, very much from my own experience, but it's an additional stress when you're running a beverage program. You want to make sure everybody has a great time, great service, great hospitality.
Yes.
But the reality of the situation is that if you don't give them the level of service, the best level of service you can, that is thousands of dollars walking out the door. That is a lot of untapped potential that keeps your doors open, all your staff fed.
Yes.
Everything associated with that.
The bills paid.
The lights on.
Yep. The overhead department paid, which they don't like it when you call them that.
We're all in this together. We're all in this together, Adam.
You know what I mean by the overhead department.
I absolutely know what you mean. But yeah, that's a very high pressure. It's a lot to juggle. And it's definitely hurting cats.
It is.
So I want to just finish up that question about the amount that you spent, if you're comfortable sharing, because you talked to me about sitting for your own advanced exams too.
Course and then exam.
Okay. And how much would you say that you all in did you put into that pursuit?
Over 30 grand.
And where'd it go?
About 5,000 was travel.
Great.
Between hotel, flights, and the advanced course.
To physically sit for the exam?
To physically go to the course first,
okay.
Which is 3 days, usually in Dallas,
Where
Texas.
Where was yours? Okay.
And then the exam was 3 days in St. Louis. Thankfully, my boss at the time helped me out with his corporate card.
Really nice.
But even still, you gotta taste the classic wines to know what they taste like. Studying Burgundy was very expensive because I was drinking the classic producers from classic regions. Usually it was after my shift, after a 12-hour shift, I would come home, my wife's already in bed, I would grab a bottle of wine, and whatever I'm drinking was the region I was studying.
Yeah.
And the bottle was my timer. When the bottle was gone, the books got closed, TV goes to Sports Center, and I pour a nightcap.
And then that's the end of your study session.
And then repeat 12-hour day again.
Yeah.
I also had my reps help me out with that as well, where when I was the last year leading up to the exam, I would tell every single rep, put one testable blind in the bag, and then sit there and shut up for 4 minutes and 10 seconds and let me work through it. And then we'll talk about it.
Figure out what it
and
is.
then finish the rest of the bag.
And so for anybody who's not familiar, when you're talking about testable wines, the exam that you sit for is very clear about what wines they can ask you to reference.
To identify. Yes.
And you're identifying varietals, tasting notes, region, producer, vintage? Not producer. Okay.
Producer's way too hard. The way the quartermaster sommelier's blind tasting deductive tasting.
Yes.
Because you're not blindfolded.
You can see the color.
You can
smell.
You get to use your eyes.
Sure.
It's a process. So think of this as a police investigation.
Okay.
You get called to the scene of the crime. You start taking pictures. Everything that's happened, which starts to build that evidence. Then you start interviewing eyewitnesses. Then you start gathering video footage from the area. Then you canvass the area to talk to neighbors or whoever. So the front part of the deductive tasting grid is what do you see, what do you smell, and what do you physically taste.
Okay.
And then we talk about the structure of the wine. How acidic is it? How tannic is it? What's the body? What's the finish? What's the alcohol?
So this is the Sherlock Holmes approach.
Correct.
To deducing what's in your wine glass.
So now all that's been investigated. Now you hand the case over to the district attorney. So now we start narrowing it down. Obviously, this is not a red wine.
Mm.
So we can eliminate that. And it becomes a process of elimination. Based off what we tasted, first determination, is this old world or new world? So is it coming from Europe or is it coming from everywhere else? The easiest way to differentiate old world wine versus new world wine, the old world sent out the ships to colonize the new world. You laugh.
I told my team this and they thought that I was
that you made it up.
Bullshitting them.
No. So much of world history involves
colonization.
Alcohol.
Oh, that too.
Why did the English fall in love with Bordeaux?
It used to be England.
Eleanor of Aquitaine was betrothed to the King of England. Aquitaine is the larger region that contains Bordeaux. So naturally, her wines went to England. The aristocracy fell in love with those wines. So little things like that in history match the drinking world.
Taste preferences, consumer patterns, all that.
Yes. So now that we're prosecuting the case, is this a cool climate wine or is this a warm climate wine? So are we leaning more on the acid side or are we leaning more on the fruit side? White Burgundy is a perfect example. If you taste Chablis versus Mâconnais, Chablis being the very northern part, Mâconnais being the southern part, or even Beaujolais Blanc, which is Chardonnay. Yes, they're old world wines. Yes, acid leads on both of those, but the character of the fruit in Chablis is going to be tart, lemon, lime, citrus zest, versus the Mâconnais tends to be underripe pear, underripe apple. Getting all that information takes time. It's not done overnight. You don't build a baseball stadium and just unload it off a truck and put it in the ground. You start from there. So then once we determine old world versus new world, cool versus warm climate, we can start talking about possible grape varietals. And again, this is where muscle memory and just doing a lot of known tasting starts to come into play. So I know for me that Grenache is always strawberry, rhubarb, and rose. All around the world, you will see hints of strawberry, rhubarb, and rose in Grenache, whether it's red, or even rosé.
Okay.
It's there. The rest of the glass determines where are we going to go. If
Is
the
it
fruit,
Grenache? Is it Garnacha? Is it...
or are we in Chateauneuf de Pape?
Okay.
Because the alcohol is screaming. Versus Santa Rita Hills, or even Santa Ynez, further inland, it's going to be more fruit dominant and a little bit higher in alcohol, but the fruit is going to be that fresh, ripe fruit versus Chateauneuf de Pape, which is tart, almost baked. And then we talk about possible areas of origin, which, if we're talking old world Grenache, really the only place you're going to see it is in Chateauneuf de Pape or Côte de Rhône. Priorat still has too many variables because there's too many international varietals you can throw in there as well.
Priorat?
There's really no one distinctive style in Priorat. So if we're narrowing it down to Grenache, it's Southern Rhone. If we're going to throw in another thin-skinned grape like Sangiovese, we're talking Tuscany. Throw in another thin-skinned grape, Nebbiolo, now we're in Piedmont. But the structure of those three grapes are completely different.
Right.
Structure will never lie. We are in the pollinating. So I know a lot of people's allergies are
the roof,
kicking their butt, but structure will never lie. Grenache is typically medium-bodied, medium to medium plus acid, and I'm talking Chateauneuf de Pape specifically, elevated to high alcohol. You'll see maybe some new oak, but oak is expensive. Sangiovese is medium plus across the board, so medium plus tannin, alcohol, acid, medium full-bodied, but there'll always be this brickish red rim and a hint of tomato leaf.
Gorgeous.
Nebbiolo is going to look like a Pinot Noir in the glass and punch you in the face like a Cabernet. It's high alcohol, high acid, high tannin. Typical characteristics are rose petals and balsamic vinegar and a touch of tar. So that's how you would differentiate those.
You got all this?
But again, it takes a long time to build up that sensory memory. And I'm not just talking, pop in a cork. It's getting those smells to register and be able to pick them out.
To connect them consistently.
Correct.
To the right regions and varietals.
Well, to the grape first.
Sure.
And then to the regional specific on how that grape shows. If we're blind tasting, and even at the advanced level, you get down to this is old world, cooler climate, possible grape varietals, Grenache from Chateauneuf, which is, we kind of contradicted ourselves because Chateauneuf de Pape is hot. But cool climate, we're down to Sangiovese, Nebbiolo, and you call Nebbiolo from Piedmont, Barolo, 2019. And it's 2019 Barbaresco. You still win.
Cool. You were very close. You did a lot of deductive reasoning.
Close enough for government work.
There you go. That's so impressive. You are blind tasting. You're going through the deductive reasoning process for a wine that is not even in front of you. I can't even. But
that's how you have to approach every single wine when you're working up to this exam.
Mm-hmm. It's a problem to solve.
Tiger, since he was just in the news for his second DUI and his second
Tiger?
Yeah.
Poor Tiger.
Poor Tiger. He blamed it on his phone. Okay. Tiger Woods in his prime. Yes, he won a bunch of majors, but he's on the golf course every day, hitting balls, working with a swing coach. It's the same thing. But when you stop doing that, those muscles atrophy. So you have to keep it going, which is why I think it's easier to pass the Master Sommelier exam than it is to be a Master Sommelier.
I understand
because you are the pinnacle. You're at the pinnacle of your profession, and you have to maintain and still keep up with everything that's evolving in the wine world. I'm good.
It changes fast, too.
I'm good.
Regions are changing.
Climate
The
change.
climate is changing rapidly.
And for anybody that wants to argue about the climate change hoax, here's my proof. 35 years ago, England did not make sparkling wine.
Climate change is real.
So,
Now
changed
they
my
make
mind.
fantastic sparkling wine.
And the major champagne houses are investing in the southern England. So, I'll still take cava over champagne.
Better fruit
I can drink 3 bottles of cava versus 1 bottle of champagne.
for the same price.
Yes.
There we go.
Did that kind of roundabout answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
it did. I was going to ask you a question about building references. I think you answered that question pretty squarely. I'm curious. You just did something that the average person cannot do. That was incredible. I'd like to know what, in your opinion, makes you naturally gifted or even able. I think there's a lot of people who think to themselves, I can never do that. So I'd like to know what naturally lent your, ability to study wines successfully. I would say you've been very successful.
We all have to start somewhere.
Sure.
And yes, this is a huge category of beverage.
Yeah.
And it changes every year because of vintages.
So much to know.
So you start with the basics. Okay, if I'm new to wine, I'm going to learn Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, first and foremost, because that will go with 80% of any menu item in any restaurant in the world. Those two right there.
Sure.
Now, they're also blank slates, so they will have the most stylistic breadth. When we talk about Chablis versus oaky buttery Chardonnay from California, they're the same grape. They present 2 polar opposite styles. Unfortunately, most wine drinking newbies think all Chardonnay is oaky buttery Chardonnay. It's not. That's maybe 1/6 of
what Chardonnay can do.
Yes, because it's climate, it's soil, it's winemaking decisions.
No, I agree with you, but I'm going to back up a little bit because you're starting to talk about what's important to study. And I asked you a question about Adam. I said, what is it about you that you can retain this information and share it in a way that's entertaining?
So I was a nuclear engineer in the Navy.
Okay.
So no slouch. I actually...
So you're smarter than everyone.
No.
I mean, maybe.
No. I just had a 5-year MIT education rammed down my throat in less than 18 months.
Yeah.
When you're studying in the Navy, it is your job to study. That's all you do for 18 months.
Sure.
Before you go out to the fleet. So having an engineer's mind to where I can kind of map things in my brain, and then working in hospitality, having that engagement with people, but being able to retain that information and make it in a 30-second elevator pitch.
Sure.
That's really where my skills, partially from being a server, but once I put that same study method I used in the Navy and applied it to wine, that's really where it kind of exploded.
Yeah.
So when I do staff trainings in restaurants, especially restaurants that are just getting ready to open up, we'll taste the wine. I'll talk about the history, what goes into it. And I want the staff to be engaged, and I will ask them what they smell and taste. And then I'll tell them what I smell and taste. Then we can talk about how it's made. We can talk about a couple fun facts of the winery. I want those staff members to be able to tell the guests at the table 3 things about the wine, 2 dishes it pairs with, and 1 fun fact about the winery. That's all they need to know for the restaurant floor.
Sure.
If a guest needs more information, that's when you can bring in the sommelier. I could not visit every single table. Lord knows my team at the country club tried, but I could not physically see every single member, and I had to teach them. So teaching makes you better at what you do. It's the old med school method, right? See one, do one, teach one. True mastery of a subject is not just being able to accomplish something, it's to teach somebody else to do it. So that's why I focus more on teaching than anything else, because it forces me to stay on top of my game.
That's very cool. I think you are a gifted teacher, a great storyteller, a natural mentor. These things, I think, set you apart. So you can...
It's hard because you can take the sailor out of the Navy. You can't take the Navy out of the sailor. I did 6 wine dinners in the month of March and did not drop the F-bomb once.
Wow.
That is a record for me.
Yeah. Would you describe yourself as particularly disciplined?
Some things, yes. Most things, no.
Your study approach sounds quite organized, if not disciplined. I would say disciplined.
I would say more systematic.
Sure.
When you're trying to study a really complex subject, like wine, that has so many different variables, you have to put systems and procedures in place. It's just like running a restaurant, right?
Sure.
10 steps of service. This is how we break down the dish machine at the end of the night. This is how we set up the line every day.
Sure.
The prep cooks have their prep list that's done the night before, so it's on the block when they get there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do in high school when we had to know something important? Pulled out the yellow highlighter and highlighted it.
Yep.
If you did that for wine, the entire page would be yellow.
Yes.
With a couple holes that were not. So there was a gentleman on Guild Somm, I can't remember his name, but credit goes to him. The Advanced Sommelier Playbook,
okay,
where he introduced a 6 highlighter system, all 6 different colors. Each color corresponded to something different. Yellow was a proper term. Orange would be a place. Blue would be a body of water. Green would be a grape varietal. Can't remember what the other 2 meant because I haven't cracked that book open in 6 years. So I don't know.
I have seen this. I know someone else who uses this method.
It works.
Yeah.
It does work. So I would say I'm more systematic than anything else.
Okay.
Put the system in place, work the system.
Neat. Very cool.
Otherwise, I'm a silly goose.
Yes, and I know that about you too. You also told me, if you're comfortable sharing, you told me about a formative experience you had that made you particularly good at hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
Do you care to share?
So I was on a ballistic missile submarine, crew of 165.
This was in the Navy.
In the Navy. At sea for 3 months. Maybe got to see the sun once. About 12,000 square feet. So tiny, tiny, tiny. If you have a disagreement with somebody, unfortunately, it is frowned upon to shoot them out of the torpedo tube. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn how to be a little bit more diplomatic, which happens to translate very well to hospitality.
Okay.
When you have a guest or a coworker that needs some extra attention, can't just throw them out in the dumpster. Can't throw them in the dumpster. Can't throw the guest out the front door and tell them never to come effing back. You have to be diplomatic. So those skills I learned in the Navy happen to translate very well to the restaurant business.
We joke that the restaurant within these 4 walls feels like a pressure cooker.
It is.
Sometimes you got to step out back.
It is.
Take a breather.
It is.
But when you're on a submarine, you must find another way to...
There's not a single space that is empty at any one time.
Yeah. Can you smoke a cigarette on a submarine?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
Coincidentally, it is, at least when I was in, it was the forward auxiliary machinery space
Okay.
that had the diesel generator and was right above the battery compartment.
And that was the smoking area.
Yes.
Good.
The ashtray was a bucket of diesel fuel.
Well, I don't think submarine life is for me personally. I'm gonna have to find another way to build my skills in hospitality. But that's an incredible experience. And do you still talk to anybody that you were on that sub with?
A few, yeah.
That's neat.
A couple of my buddies from nuke school. One is in Oklahoma. The other one is actually a science teacher down in South Carolina.
Okay. And at the time when you were on that submarine, did you ever imagine that you would have pivoted into the world of wine?
No.
Yeah?
No.
That's fun.
I had enough savings after I got out that I really didn't need to go to the grinds. And out of boredom, I got a job waiting tables and bartending, and the rest is history.
Out of boredom. That's so funny. I speak to so many people who sort of stumbled and fell their way into wine. I think it may be you're either born into it or you stumble into it, and there's really no in between.
Yes.
I was a stumbler, and I'm happy about it. But
Me too.
all right. Well, I think I'm pretty close here. I want to ask you some silly, goofy, rapid fire questions.
Shoot.
But first, I'm going to take a drink. Cheers. This is very tasty. Even day 2. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
All right. My question's for you. Rapid fire, don't think too hard. It doesn't matter too much. Favorite wine in your book this week? This is a pitch.
J. Ducey Model M.
Say it again.
J. Ducey Model M.
Okay.
Red blend. Cabernet, Zin, Syrah, Petit Syrah, coming from Paso Robles. Nell Ducey is 4th generation wine grower, 1st generation wine maker.
Okay.
She won honorable mention in the San Francisco Chronicle wine competition at the age of 14.
Wow. Okay.
You got to be 21 to drink it, not 21 to make it. Her family was one of the 4 original Italian families to settle in Paso Robles in the early 1900s.
You see. Okay. Cool.
It's my prisoner killer.
Prisoner's pretty popular. It's hard to push past that.
At $20 retail.
Nice. Cool. A wine that you wish was in your book. A wine you'd like to steal.
There's so many.
Mm-hmm. You just need one.
Ken Forrester FMC Chenin Blanc from Stellenbosch, South Africa. Chenin Blanc, that's treated like Grand Cru White Burgundy.
Gorgeous.
The FMC name came from the British wine press.
Mm-hmm.
They were tasting his premium Chenin Blanc. And FMC stands for effing magical Chenin.
Okay. Yeah, this seems perfect. This seems like the wine that you were born to sell.
I used to buy it. And I would have people looking for premium California Chardonnay in that 125 to 150 range on a steakhouse list. And I would pitch this to them, and they're like, it's not Chardonnay. I'm like, it's better. Try it. And I put it in their glass, and their mind is blown.
Heard that. We're pouring your the Joubert Chardonnay, South African Chardonnay right now.
Love that wine.
Nobody wants to give it a shot, but when they've got it in their glass, they're crazy about it.
Again, this is part of wine education and being able to go to a place that has an extensive by the glass program. Is be adventurous. Tell the staff, the servers, the bartenders, the sommelier, whoever, hey, I like this, I like this, I like this, and I want to stay in this price range. Go.
And we'll take you. We'll take you on a journey.
We'll take you on a ride.
That's right.
That's the whole point of coming out, is to turn off your brain and just have a good time.
And talk to a human.
Yes, put down your phone, people.
Talk to a human.
And don't
have a new experience.
And for the love of God, do not use AI to help you select a bottle of wine at a restaurant. We do this for a reason.
AI only regurgitates. When you talk to a person, you've got lived experience, you've got someone who can ask you more questions, really get to know your preferences,
Yes.
and someone you'll see again, right?
Yes. AI can only recall information, and it's never in context. Coming to the wine world because there are so many people that deem themselves wine professionals. They're a bunch of idiots.
Especially online.
Specifically
Especially on Reddit.
online, Reddit. If they don't have any wine credentials, don't listen to them. Just don't. Save your time.
Sure.
Go to your local wine shop.
What's your opinion on Vivino?
Worst app ever.
Cool.
Because I have accounts that will post the Vivino rating and the Vivino price and say, we're beating it. This is crowdsourced. Are you going to crowdsource the repair of your car? Are you going to crowdsource your healthcare?
Sure.
No. Now, I understand that it does have some benefits to where you can track your collection, you can put your own ratings, great. But to use that as your sole decision-making tool?
Of what you're going to drink?
No. Nope.
So no, it's no on Vivino.
It's a hell no on Vivino. Seller Tracker is different.
Okay.
Because they will source professional reviews and they will tell you where you can buy this.
I haven't used that one.
The app is clunky. The website is better.
Okay. Seller Tracker.
Yes.
So where people just post it's like a blurry photo and then professional reviews.
Yes. And where to buy.
Okay.
And producer information. It will link you to the producer's website, the importer's website if need be. You can search multiple vintages.
Okay. Cool.
Vivino's cheating. Seller Tracker is where it's at.
Vivino sucks. Maps or menus?
Be more specific.
Which do you think you learn more from?
Yes.
Yes. Maps and menus?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above.
Tasting groups or individual study?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Because tasting groups, you get to share the cost. But if you don't have that foundation of knowing your palate, knowing what this is supposed to taste like, if you go into a tasting group, especially a blind tasting group,
yeah,
you're way behind. So I would recommend do your individual tasting, do your drinking, have fun, explore. But when you're in a tasting group, have a specific theme, have a process to where it goes from a wine tasting to essentially a bitch session, especially if it's industry, because it does happen and very fast.
Sure. It's just like a place to decompress rather than advance your knowledge.
Yes. That usually happens after about the third or fourth wine.
Nature of the beast. Best wine vacation in recent memory or wine trip. Doesn't have to be vacation.
Let's go to Italy.
Where? Italy's big.
With Nicola Biscardo, our Italian importer. We landed in Bologna twice because there was a bomb scare on the tarmac. So we got diverted to Verona. And then just as we were getting ready to get off the plane, they said the tarmac is clear. You can come back. So we landed in Bologna twice.
So you went to Verona and came right back.
We never got off the plane.
Sure.
So we spent the night in Romagna, 2 days in Tuscany, morning in Cinque Terre, which if you've never been there, is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that there is no OSHA in Italy, so hike those vineyards at your own peril.
Thank you.
They need climbing gear to work the vineyards.
Sure. Just the slope is so steep.
The vineyard we were at, Catena Posa, he has a monorail to work the vineyard. He picks the grapes starting from the top of the vineyard and goes all the way down. They shoot the cassette down to a waiting boat. The boat takes it around into the harbor where they bring it into the winery.
Fascinating.
Then we spent a day and a half in Piedmont region, morning in Valdosta, and then flew at Milan the next day. So whirlwind tour.
Neat.
I ate so much my ankles got fat.
Sounds perfect. Sounds like my ideal week.
It was 5 days.
Yeah, amazing. A wine that significantly impacted you in your early career.
The Sasakai.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a wedding gift.
That's so sweet. That's a good friend.
Yep.
Very nice. Someone you'd like to work with in the next year?
Person. I do work with all my friends.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. That's cheating, but that's fine. And an underrated region varietal that people should buy more of.
Crisp high acid whites.
I really thought you were going to say Chenin Blanc. I thought I was going to hear Chenin from you.
That falls in that category.
It does, yeah.
Chenin Blanc, high acid and crisp, depends on the winemaking style. If it's unoaked, high elevation, cool climate, it's bright and zippy.
Yeah.
If you start treating it like Grand Cru Burgundy, now it drinks more like Chardonnay.
Sure.
Vino Verde is great. I drink a ton of that. Gruner Veltliner from Austria. Also available in kegs.
From Orsini.
It's the equivalent of 26 bottles.
Yeah.
Way when you take out your recycling bin, you don't sound like an alcoholic.
No, you look like you had a keg party.
It's 26 bottles.
Sure.
It's going to last. It's not like you pop a bottle.
Are you recommending kegs for the home?
I'm recommending kegs for home and by the glass.
Yes.
Because unlike residential, in North Carolina, if you have a mixed beverage license, you must have a recycling contract in place.
Sure.
Well, if half your by the glass selection is on draft.
You don't need a recycling contract?
No.
Interesting.
You're not throwing as many bottles in that recycling bin. You get charged by volume.
Makes sense. I see what you're doing.
Plus, it's easier to ship. There's less glass. There's less cardboard. So it's a greener way of enjoying wine. I do have an account that challenges every supplier to sell him $1,000 keg of wine. Producer stepped up.
Cool. That's a clever workaround.
Yes.
You got to be clever in this biz.
Absolutely.
You got to be clever.